Are you tired of commuting daily to work? Want to save money and effort from dressing up daily? If your answer is yes, then consider working as a virtual assistant and stay safe and healthy at home during this pandemic. Hello everyone, this is JR once again and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. Just click that red button over there. It is totally free. Alright, for today's video, I decided to make a continuation of the previous video I uploaded, which is about work from home opportunities. Here's my story, guys. So for a month now, I've been successfully and happily working as a virtual assistant for a logistics company in the United States through myfreightstaff or MFS. So MFS, they recruit and then provide virtual assistants for their clients which are in the logistics or freight or transportation industry. By the way, I have no experience as a virtual assistant. This is my first time in this line of work, even in the transportation or logistics industry. So I'm telling you, if having no experience is what's holding you back, set that aside and simply have the courage to begin. On my previous video, I talked about what a virtual assistant is, what the requirements are, and also what the task would be. If you want to check that out, the link is on the description box below. You can watch that after this. Tapusin nyo muna yung video na to. Okay? For those who are interested in becoming a virtual assistant, I'll share with you my journey with MFS, starting from the application, interview, the training, up to the time na na-endorse ako sa client, to serve as a guide para sa inyong magiging sariling journey. Alright, so we'll simply follow the step-by-step process I went through para malinaw yung flow ng video na to. At ito yung naging timeline ko. So let me look at my notes here. So April 5, so week 1, April 5, that was a Monday, I submitted my application online. And then the following day, April 6, I received an email for an interview invite. So I had to respond to that to confirm that I'm available. So the following day, April 7, I already had my interview. And then the following morning, so after just one interview, I was already hired, and then they sent the documents that I had to sign and return to them. And then the following day, that was a Friday, April 9, I had the one-day self-study training. So it has lessons and then assessments which you had to pass in order to proceed to the next stage. So week 2, that was starting April 12. So I went through an advanced training. Now this one may allowance na or paid na siya. So technically sumasahod na ako. And then April 16th, that was the 4th day of the advanced training, I had my first interview with a potential client. And then week 3, so that was April 19, I got endorsed to a client. And then I just had to go through additional training of 3 days specific to the business of my client. And then April 22, up to this day, work na ako. So technically, 1 week lang talaga yung process because the following week, which was for training, considered employed na ako since sumasahod na ako. So now, let's get into the details starting with the application. To begin the application, go to MFS website, which is myfreightstaff.ph. Okay, loading. So this is their website, guys, and this is the home page. You can browse through it, or you can also browse through it after submitting the application, but I highly suggest that you do, and I'll tell you why in a bit. So for now, let's go to the apply option over here, and let's go through the position types. So this is very simple. There are only 3 positions that you can apply for, which are prospecting, operations, and customer service. Basically, yung prospecting includes sales. So if you can see here, prospecting VAs can earn commissions ranging from $50 to $100 per new shipper. So that's a huge amount. $100 will be around 5,000 pesos already. Okay, now operations and customer service are similar. It's just that operations, mas complex yung task over customer service, which includes answering phone calls and emails, client follow-up, and then manage driver applications, manage social media content, and then you will deal with BOLs and PODs for invoicing. Kung anong ibig sabihin ng mga yan, you will learn it during the training. While for operations, you'll deal with customer rate requests, schedule shipments, pickups, track and trace existing shipments, locate available equipment, and then you'll deal with carrier packets or contracts, and then shipment updates to sales and customer. Okay, now let's move on. So here, very clear at ang laki, makikita mo yung amount that you can earn. So for prospecting and operations, they're the same, $750 a month. It's just that for prospecting, again, my commission. But hindi yan yung forte ko, so I disregarded that one. And then for customer service, you can earn $700 a month. So this one, the one at the middle, this is what I applied for, $750 a month. And you can see here, this will be for the top trainees only. So you will really need to do good in the training if you want to work on the operations area. So let's click on apply now. After clicking on the position that you'd like to apply for, it will lead you on this page, which will talk about the system requirements. So for the computer, it should be at least dual core. The RAM should be at least 4 gigabyte, and then your operating system should be at least Windows XP. For the internet speed, primary connection should be at least 3 Mbps, while the backup connection should be at least 2 Mbps. So yes, you need a primary computer. It could be a desktop or a laptop, and then a backup one. Same goes for your internet connection. Now don't worry, if you don't have backup yet, that's fine as long as meron kang primary computer at internet connection. They will give you ample time to secure your backup requirements. So don't worry about that. But if you have those now, then much better. So let's scroll down. So here, this is where you need to put your information. So these are all personal information such as your name, email address, your phone number, date of birth, your address, and then the position you'd like to apply for. So make sure pag-isipan yung mabuti yan based on your skills. And then there's a drop down here. So choose if you have experience with US based companies, and then for how long. And then also choose education level, no college, some college, or if you have a master's degree. And then here, you will need to click on this one to attach your resume. Now here, there's a question asking you, what makes you the best choice for consideration? So make sure to give a strong answer. I would suggest that you highlight your skills that could be related to the transportation industry. And now let's go back here. So you will need to attach here an audio link. So let's go back to the top. It says here you need to record a quick 30 to 45-second audio clip introducing yourself as a person. So do not include your work history yet. So let's go to this website, which is vukaru.com. All right, this is very easy to follow. So just click on this icon. So make sure that you're ready kung ano yung sasabihin mo. So I suggest that you, well, basically say something about yourself, your name, age, location, and then to stretch it to 45 seconds, talk about your hobbies and interests, and probably your short-term and long-term goals. And then after the 45 seconds, you can click on stop. So let's say 45 seconds na. Click on the save and share option and then copy the link provided here. Then go back to the application page and then simply paste it there. And then once it's all good, put a checkbox on the requirements tick box and then enter the letters here and then click on submit. So once you're good, please read about the company, especially yung about us, because on the interview they will ask you what you know about the company, and it's very important that you know something. At least provide an answer which is 2 to 3 sentences long. Okay, next part of the process is the interview. So my interview was scheduled for April 7, 11 in the evening Philippine time. So that's 8 in the morning sa California. So after confirming my availability for the interview, I received another email with additional instructions. So I had to download or install Ring Central on my computer. It is similar to Zoom. So that's what was used for the video interview. Now for the interview, guys, it is very important that you dress formally. And for this part, I'd like to share with you one of the 7 habits of highly effective people, and that is to begin with the end in mind. So, as soon as you submit your application, claim it, have the mindset na magiging sa'yo yung trabaho na yon. So, if you don't have an office space at home yet, set up one already. I would suggest that you find a quiet corner with a clean background and then do the interview there, so that during the interview, if in case you will be asked if you already have a workspace or an office space at home, then you already have something to present. So that's already an additional points for your interview or application process. With the interview itself, mine lasted for 15 to 20 minutes. So the recruiter will focus mainly on your personality, professionalism, and your English communication skills. So make sure to answer truthfully while being conscious of your pronunciation, basic grammar rules, and the clarity of your voice. I made a separate video entitled How to Speak English Fluently. If you want to check that out, I'll make sure to add the link on the description box below. Now, sa interview, topics that were discussed were tell me something about yourself, and then what else? Walk me through your employment history. So those are basic interview questions, so make sure you are ready. And then there's also the question, what do you know about My Freight Staff or MFS? That's why it's very important to read about the company from their website either before or after you submit your application online. So the answer doesn't have to be lengthy. 2 to 3 sentences should be enough for that question. Other parts of the interview were simple. The recruiter simply asked if I was willing to work on a graveyard shift since we're catering to US-based clients, and then if I was willing to work during weekends if necessary, work overtime if necessary, work during holiday if necessary. So ayun. And then what else? Next will be the system check. So I had to share my screen and then the recruiter took over. So she ran a speed test and then checked the settings or specs of my computer to make sure that I meet the requirements. And then towards the end of the interview, she set proper expectations naman that the result will take up to 5 business days. Now on this part, let me share with you how God has been really good to me. So even before the application, sobrang pinagdasal ko talaga. And I think God never wanted me to be anxious anymore. So, yung 5 business days, naging more than 5 hours lang because when I woke up the following morning, may magandang balita na. So, I made it. So, they decided to hire me and I actually thought may magiging next set of interviews pa pero wala na. So, Thursday, I just had to fill out the documents online and then send it back to them. The following day, Friday, that was April 16, if I'm not mistaken, I just had to go through a self-study training. So that one, unpaid pa siya. But I was eager to finish it, so I finished it in 1 day, but they'll give you up to 7 days to complete it. So follow your own timeline. Make sure na maintindihan mo yung lessons. It's very critical because it's already the introduction or general overview of the logistics and the transportation industry in the United States. Sorry guys, the self-study training was actually April 9. So all of those nangyari in a span of 1 week. Ganon kabilis. Now, let's move on to the next part of the process, which is the training. So aside from the 1 day self-study training, the following week, I had a 5-day advanced training. And again, this one is already paid. And again, since we're talking about pay, I want to share with you na yes, sumahod na ako. So actually, I waited for me na sumahod muna bago gawin yung video na to make sure naman na credible yung story na isi-share ko at hindi nyo isipin na scam yung company na ito. So it's legit. So again, after this, I hope that you decide to apply. Alright, now, again, let's talk about training. So yung advanced training, in-depth na siya from the word itself na advanced. So I suggest if you reach that part, please seryosohin nyo to. Make sure that you are focused, take down notes, and kung kailangan ulit-ulitin nyo yung lessons, please do so because after each lesson, merong assessment and there is a passing mark for each assessment so that you can complete the training. So take the time that you need. So each day, meron kayong agenda. There will be a trainer who will be monitoring your progress. So ask her questions if you have any. Don't hesitate and don't be shy, okay? Alright, and here's another interesting part of my story or my journey. So usually, you have to complete the 5-day training and then pass it. And then the following week, tsaka ka lang mabibigyan ng opportunity to be interviewed by prospect clients. So if kung wala, ang mangyayari is that you will be on a waiting or pending status until a client decides to interview you based on your profile, and then we'll go from there. Now what happened to me was, again, God has been really good in this journey of mine. So 4th day pa lang, I was interviewed by a client. So eto yung nangyari. So it was also a video interview and I can clearly recall the interview didn't even last for 5 minutes. I think there were just 2 questions. The first one was directed towards my employment history and skills, and then the second one was if I know something or what do I know about the transportation industry. And of course, I had to be honest. So I told them that I don't have any experience in the transportation industry. So here's my tip on any situation similar to that. Don't let your answer end on a negative note about you. So what I did was, after telling them that, again, I have no experience in the transportation industry, what I did was highlight everything that I have learned during the training so far. That way, you are highlighting MFS being a good recruiter or provider of virtual assistant, and also you're highlighting yourself being a fast learner, someone who is receptive to feedback. So make sure to always ace it, and again, turn the situation around as much as possible. Kaso, ayun nga, wala pang 5 minutes, tinapos na ni prospect client yung interview. So I simply went back to training, and truth be told, I set my mind to think na I didn't make it. So I went back to completing the training, and then it was just towards the end of that week. So that was April 16 na nalaman ko na okay pala si client sa akin. So wow, I was truly amazed. Who would have imagined that an employer only asked 2 questions and ended the interview session in less than 5 minutes would actually hire me? So actually, up to this day, whenever I think about it, yung mga ganong situation na sobrang labo, but then something good managed to happen out of it, and I couldn't explain it. I simply tell myself that it wasn't me nor my abilities, it's God's grace at work. So ayun, I'm really thankful. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. And ayun, all I had to do is keep believing it. It actually reminded me of one of my favorite Bible verses from Mark chapter 11, verse 24. It says, "Whatever you have asked for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." So that's what happened to me. We often hear people say to see is to believe, but for those who are in Christ, believe and you will see. I simply kept believing and good things continued on happening. So now week 3, I just had to go through additional training. So that was from April 19 to 21. So this one is more in-depth training specific na doon sa business ni client. I can't disclose more details due to confidentiality reasons, but it has something to do with specialized services. So that's what the training that I had to go through was about. After all the training, it's time for the real work. So from April 22nd up to this day, I am happily working with the very first client who decided to hire me despite of my lack of experience. And with that, I'm thankful to my freight staff, or MFS, which is also the very first virtual assistant company na pinag-applyan ko. So, ang dami kong first time sa journey na to, and I hope na makatulong to sa magiging journey nyo din, guys. So, don't hesitate. Mag-apply na kayo, and let's all enjoy the privilege of working from home. That's it, guys. For those who are interested to apply, I hope na makatulong ito. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll make sure to respond to you, or you can message me on my Facebook Messenger or Instagram. Other than that, thank you for watching, and again, please subscribe to my channel and also share this video to those who are in need of a job. You may also watch my previous video about virtual assistant jobs and another video I created a few months ago about how to speak English fluently. That would be all. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.